So let's start on this. Let's get the main shapes in. I think I'm going to put the main part of this old mill, fabulous mill. I'm using a fairly dark pencil today. Hopefully you will be able to see this in the video. Vanishing line here, and of course just in the midway here we've got this structure coming down where they used to load the sacks in. And of course further out here we've got the building disappearing, a little bit of an old chimney sticking up over there, and then down here we come get this wall down here, and further out here we've got more structures. It's an old, slightly smaller building here when we get to paint. So these are just the broad outline, simplifying somewhat. And of course here in the background we've got a bank of trees and greenery coming here, and along here we've got a lot of people sitting. Got the windows, of course, a little window there, little window. There's an opportunity to try and get some nice colours in there, and of course this all along here we have this old trackway, and here we've got a bit of a fence. But let's get this line in there. A line coming along here and down here. This we want to try and catch the essence. This one, strangely enough, is a bit taller. I've got more down here, and we've got, oh yes, and just in front of here we've got a big umbrella actually. It's coming, projecting there, and our porchway, we've got supporting timbers here. Got our brolly coming here, big signs welcoming you to this lovely establishment. And under here you got a big table, of course, all typical. Another one coming this way. They've got a nice bench coming along. See, we're just, you know, you won't be seeing all the detail of this. So a lot of it's hidden in shadow and dark. And of course here we've got another, there's another brolly. And other tables. And we hopefully get some people sitting here. Big fella here. More tables here. And of course here we've got a nice feature which we must try and capture. Is, it'll come higher than that actually, a nice red canopy. Come here. All looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but when we've got some colour in, and all along here we've got people sitting out and things here. And I see we've got a few people sitting here. Oh, we've got big post there. This one coming down a little bit, and of course they've all got lights. And just here we've got a nice big planter. Bit of road texture here. A bit of a repair to the tarmac there. So I've got to try. There's our sign. And our shadow is coming here. Got a big ironwork which casts a shadow like this. And of course we've got all shadow under our thing. We've got people here. Got umbrella there, it's coming in there, yep. That's right. We can make of this. We'll introduce lots of textural features into this as we go. I've got a little bit of the hedge going there, a little fencing regressing there. Right, okay, let's leave it at that for the moment. So let's start with putting the sky in. Let's make sure we got a nice clean palette though, first of all, because I want a nice lovely cerulean blue sky. It's a lovely bright day. So let's clean the palette up a little bit before we get cracking. Right, here we go, clean brush. Keep your paints clean. Clean palette here on this element anyway. Make a nice puddle of blue. So I need to get a nice amount there. And of course remember, watercolour always dries a little lighter, quite a bit lighter actually. So I've got a bit of a puddle there. So let's try and lay this in a little wash. We come down like this, sweeping all over, even if we go over these bits of the building, it doesn't matter. They're going to be dark anyway. But we'll bring it right down to here. course, we're down here. It comes in. And of course, we'll have some trees in there. So we'll keep it like that as much. And of course, it gets a little lighter to the bottom there. So I think we'll leave it at that. Let it. I've got the easel on a bit of a tilt, so it will bleed down and gradually fade out a little bit. Right, now we need let's get some of this white out of the way. It's rather distracting for the moment, so we'll put in a little sort of fairly neutral tone. We could put a little bit of sienna, a little bit of blue, just a general wash here. Of course, we'll be putting finer details in as we go. Just wash over this neutrally tone. So a bit of umber, a little bit of blue. Just a general sweep there. And what I'm going to do here in my big shadowed area, we'll get some nice blue into there, and to suggest a bit of shadow, so we'll get some blue and some sort of blues coming in, but I'll put a little crimson alizarin, which makes a nice shadow colour actually. Can you see that? Put a bit of red in there along with that bluey colour, and that will give us something of our shadow area. We've got to get our darks dark enough, because it's by contrast we have this view of the light. But I think I need something a little bit darker there. We need to, so I'm going to use some of this and I think we need to darken it still further. We just haven't got that dark enough. I don't want it matte, because I want to reflect some of the ground underneath. We can probably darken up later, and of course we've got this flecking of this reflection of the trees, of this trees from the right are projecting over into our, get a little bit of outline of that. I've got a nice something coming in there as a shadow. Okay, here we've got something on the road. I'll probably do that a bit darker later perhaps, or maybe I should, while it's a little bit wet, try and darken it up a little bit more blue. Sweep it across generally. Right. right, don't overdo it. Right, let's leave it at that. Now, let's get some of this. Is that dry? I need to get that a little compared to, this will be darker because the sun's coming from this direction. So I've got to keep this fairly light. So let's have a crack at that. Well, I've got my squirrel brush. Keep it, drop a little bit of ochre in there. And we'll come down here a little bit more. Right. Of course, you can always go over it, put some sort of glazes in. I think we could. Right, leave it at that moment. And here, of course, we can put some somewhat darker, and a bit of light red there, which actually is a kind of browny colour. Why they call it light red, heaven knows. But anyway, let's try and sweep this in. I'm painting on fine grain paper, very fine. There's very little tooth in this. I usually paint on Langton's rough, but this is a fine, smoother, so you don't get the advantage of textural things to contribute to your painting. You'll just have to add that with your own efforts. And with my brush there, keep a fairly sharp edge if we can. And then, of course, over here, we have to have a little darker for this. These chimneys, the chimney pots sticking up here, and something of that down here to try and give us some line to show us a different building. Doesn't matter if you leave a few whites, of course. That's the a nice feature of watercolour. And of course we've got our little bit of that colour will go in there quite nicely. Right, let's get the bit of texture in here. Right, now I think I'm going to change to my number 8 round. I think I'm need a little bit more control. My roof. Say this is a roller Daleroni number 8 round. It's a lovely brush. Got a lot more control with it. You can have a little edge to it, but you can sweep with it as well. Get a nice feel for it. And then of course we can have that more control here. I think I'll raise it up a little bit. And then we've got a little bit structure sticking out there. So I can just dab it in. And I've got trees coming in from this section as well. Need some darker elements as well. So you get your brush and break it up like this. You can't paint individual. What have I done there? Made a mark. They come way down here by this gate. All right. Not enough dark in there. Right, well that'll do for the moment anyway. I think we can put some fine rigger, fine branches. We've got some few sky holes here where sky's poking through. Let's press on with some. Oh, we've got a few greens up there, I notice, poking through, and of course we've got the vegetation and the little plant. Right, now let's get something in here. Now what would that be? Well, of course it's the gate. I think I need to do some green in there, or just behind, because I want to draw in the gate, show the gate better. Let us see. Got something there. Right. Let us get some canopies in here. Get a little bit of on this building. But anyway, I'm fiddling around at this. I shouldn't be doing this. You should go from the general to the particular. So it's very tempting sometimes just to get into the detail, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, it's supposed to be fun, and if it takes your fancy to do it at that point in time, then you do it. There's a nice fence post there, goes off there. Right, let's get something of this building down. Just a few marks for these windows. They got a doorway here, a window here. And I say we've got here a nice pillars, weren't there? Just suggestions, of course, of the gate. You can't do all the detail. And of course it's all a little bit darker in here. Another one there. Just hints of them, really. One there, look. And as I said, we've had got this signboard here. Signage there, which we can beef it up later with some gouache, or they've got a signboard here. And here we've got the old drain pipes coming down. But I need to get a nice big one in there, but I need little details on this house. I can just see I need to just get this window in. Oh, there's two windows. There's one here. And we have another one here. And this line, I think we need to come in with a rigger and do that. Line it up. Got the light there. And over here, there was a little shed. to this. Yes, that's it. I think different things going on in here. Right. Let's give it a little. Bluing out this canopy under here. Right. There's nice shadows under here. You don't see exactly what's going on. And that's got to be, we'll do some darks in there when we light and darken it up a little bit. Ultramarine. You can see that, ultramarine there. A little crimson alizarin. Oh, can we see that? That's right. I'm going to use, that's a really good shadow colour to put under the eaves. Like this. And we'll create some shadow for you. And of course under this what would you call this? This loading bay that they use. I got a nice diagonal shadow coming there. There's one in the dark here. And of course under here, that continues like this at this point. Got shadows, lots of places. A little shadow running under there. And of course we've got, as I said, big shadow cast by this sign. It's coming down like this. Beef up this a bit. I think we'll put something in here. Under this entrance area, there's lots of shadow as well. So I think we need to drop something in here. We'll try and create something of interest in a moment. Of course, this is all shadowed area out here as well. A little like that. Right. Now I think I'll need to put something in here. And let's get these, let's get some of these barrels in, I think. We've got that table, of course. I've got to try and create that with some, that's what should we do? entrance in there. So we ought to get that a little bit darker to suggest the entrance to the pub. And here we've got a lovely signboard, of course. We had an A board somewhere out here giving signs. We've got these little planters, try and get some shape. Right, now let's get some barrels in. I think that's what we need to do. Now let me think how best to do that. Because they make quite a feature really of this scene. We've got a big barrel here. Another one here. Just washing them in gently at the moment. I'll try and give them some form. When it's dried off a little bit, we've got a big one here. A sort of silvery colour. There's another one there as well. Right. Now, yes, they have some different colours in the... no, not so bad, look. We can give them some colour. Say, this is what they call the happy accidents. Sometimes it happens. And we've got another one here. Let's get that one in. By varying the light on them, they may look a bit more spherical. They've got this sort of bowed shape, haven't they? A variety of colours that you have on your palette to give you some idea. This is brick. To the object though, because it won't ring true if there's a gap. And of course these, we got shadows coming across here, various features under this table. It's all shadowed. And we've got some lines on our old mill. We need to put in more shadow, I think. We've got that fairly accurately. And there's some shadows here. We need to put in some people, of course. So how are we going to do that? Right, I'm in the middle of my shadows. Let's go back to my barrels. Haven't really finished them. A bit more red, a bit more of this red, probably a little umber to darken it. Right. I think we need things that were hanging around. It's got a little bit of ochre there, but we had some bright little tubs here. More there. I think we had some here. Little planters. Right. Now, what do we do here? What's the central? I think about time we got some people in, really. So let me think, where can we put them? I mean, there were so many in this painting, or in this photograph, I should say. Where do I start? That's the issue. Right, I think we ought to put somebody here. We'll put some fellow here. Let's get an appropriate brush, something a bit more control. Yes. What colour? Well, of course, I haven't got the this canopy is in, which I was telling you about, which is a nice feature of the photograph. Really striking, lovely red colour. So I'm going to use a bit of crimson alizarin, but I'm going to mix. I've got the crimson alizarin here, but I'm going to use a bit of cadmium red here. And so we make a nice bright red. So where does it go? I think we decided it was going to be somewhere like this. Yes, it was quite a feature, I remember. Of the day when I had lunch here. It's rather good. And we have, I had one fellow here with a lovely bright t-shirt. I'll give him that. I'm going to give him a red head, but we'll deal with that in a minute. And there were various things around. Little features of their entrance hall. And there was somebody up here, I think. Well, here's my finished picture. And as you see, I've tightened up on it quite a bit. I've made the shadows somewhat darker and some fine detail. You've got to be careful not to do too much. Got a bit of shadow coming from that little sack loading area. Projects across the front of the building. Canopy darkened up my shadow in the foreground, which you need to do to give you the contrast with the light of that building in the background. Got my gate, put a bit of colour on the pillars there, a little bit of white in front of it so you can contrast. A few people suggested under the red canopy and umbrella there, and a shadow of course from the signage down the front there, and of course we've got the entrance hall here, and put a couple of more umbrellas in, as there were several there, and of course give a little bit of form to our old barrels there. I suppose they're empty beer barrels. It won't be full, that's for sure. And the roof line, tightened up on that, a little bit more texture there. And you notice the windows as well. Managed the catching a little light is coming from the left and catching a little bit of the windows there, and a little bit of white there to give a bit of sparkle. And of course this face, this second window here, this one here is catching the light because the sun is coming from the left. So I've put a little bit there, and the other one is dark, just happened to be that way. Few people, a couple of people out here, and there's another little bar out here, barbecue or pizza place. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and it's a loose watercolour, not absolutely architecturally tight and accurate, but pretty darn close. And of course, in art, you're trying to create an impression. If you want it dead accurate, of course, that's your camera's job. But if you want to create the atmosphere, as I did, I wanted to recapture this lovely afternoon I had there when I had lunch. So, hope you enjoyed it.